GM, everybody. Welcome to another episode of Wake and Jake. You guys know the deal, but if not, just in case, if you're a new listener here, we're going to talk through all the things going on this week. It's an open forum, so we'd love to hear your thoughts. Feel free to unmute, jump in if you have any thoughts, opinions, questions, any other topics you want us to cover. We do this for you guys, so we love to hear from you all and just kind of get the conversation going for the week. As all of our shows are rated NFA, always make your own decisions financially. Don't take any of this as, financial advice. This is all just thought experiment. Just getting our thoughts and feelings out there. But excited to kick it off. It's a bit of a weird week. We're down pretty big on the 7-day chart. I think last week or 2 weeks ago, we talked about just being numb with the market pullbacks and stuff. And this one definitely, at least from my perspective, feels a little more like real, like painful. Like I kind of didn't even really sweat previously, but now it's just sort of, as it's prolonged, it's like people are pressing the wound and twisting it a little bit. But hey, we're gonna talk through it and figure out exactly what's going on. And to help us do that, I've got the one, the only, the man himself, Mr. Jake and Bake. GM brother, how are you?
Oh, too generous of an intro. I'm doing great, man. We're still keeping on, despite the woes. It was good. Hopefully, everyone was able to touch grass during the over the week and over the weekend, with the markets being so shitty. I don't think there was much that you were gonna miss. So hopefully, people got a nice little rejuvenation. Now we get back at it here. Man, as you said, just going through the charts, Bitcoin is down 11.5% from last week. ETH's down 14%. Sol's down 6.8%. Sol's kept up, the strength that it's shown over the last month or so, relative to Bitcoin and ETH. So that's interesting. We've had, since the last time, we've had quite a bit of news, or at least price action, since last week. I think we were trading around like 63 or 62K or so. I still feel, this one, it certainly hurts, but I still feel a bit numb. It almost feels like a bit expected. This is kind of playing out decently similar to last bull market in 2021, where we did see quite a big sell-off in May and June in the summertime. This is kind of playing out just like a month or two later than that cycle, where despite hitting some new highs early on in the year, we saw quite a big pullback. I think last time it pulled back a decently bit more than what we've seen so far. And we still resumed highs, later in the year, in the fall and in the winter. So I'm not too worried here. We gave the levels of above 64.5K. If we were able to get that, that'd be pretty bullish. We can go more risk on. We did not reach those levels, and we also gave the levels if we were to get back under 60K, that'd be pretty bearish, because that'd be likely that we are going to break out of this or break down from this range. That is what happened. We pretty quickly went down to, I think, around like 52.5, 53 or so, I believe was the bottom. Now sitting around 56. So, we kind of got the nuke that was expected once we broke out of that range. And now it's still a bit into undetermined zone. I think, I got some new quotes here from, again, I'm going to quote Don, because he's one of my favorite person to track for macro. But he says, if we were to finish today bullish or in the green on Bitcoin, as well as getting a weekly close above 60K, is kind of like the new bullish level. It was the bearish level, and now that we've broken down under it, if we get back above, that would be another bullish level, to go more risk on again. So something new to look for. I think 52K is kind of the tentative support right now. Breaking under that, then like 44K would be around the next support. And that'd be a pretty locked on support. That'd be a big bid window. According to Don, that's his take. some other takes in the market from people I trust. Web3 Quant, who I'm sure a lot of people, you guys know, has been pretty spot on this cycle. Says majors will break out last. Strong movers of the next leg already showing signs. Focusing on those have better risk reward. So strong movers, he means coins that haven't dumped as much as the rest, or even positive on the day after the big dump. I think some that he's pointed out are some memes. The new one, Billy, that a lot of people are on. It's another like cute dog meme. I think it's at around 160K, or sorry, 160 million market cap right now. And then Bonk's been really strong as well. I think Popcat's been doing decent, and then Sol is like the big coin that's showing a lot of strength too. Are the coins mainly that he's talking about. So yeah, that's a bit on macro and some kind of coins and levels to look at. Here's another tweet. I'm sorry, I'm posting this all in voice hangout as I talk too, if you want to check out as we're going along. But the other big news is Germany has been dumping a ton of Bitcoin. They got a bunch from it was like a movie piracy site that they seized like all their Bitcoin that they had. They were like a site in 2013, so that's obviously worth a ton now. From back then, I think that like 3 billion, I believe, is around $3 billion worth. Is around what they seized, and they've been dumping quite a bit, especially today. They were dumping by about like 100-200 million a day last week, and today they've based on transfers, it looks like they've transferred over 900 million, close to a billion, to exchanges to sell today, or to presumably sell today, I should say. And you can actually track their wallet here. I'm going to post the Arkham address so you can track the transfers if you want to. So they sold quite a bit today, and that's mainly the result of the dump we've seen this morning. We bounced a little bit since then, but kind of hanging on to that 56K level at the moment. And you can track those transfers from the Germany wallet. It's got about 1.3 billion, so about a little less than half of that Bitcoin is still in that wallet, but they seem to be dumping it real quick. Usually it's kind of like a gradual dump that you see these governments do when they have a lot, but they're just absolutely hammering the sell button this morning. So pretty good that we're not absolutely tanking, despite quite a bit of sell pressure here on Bitcoin. Yeah, that's largely what I have on macro. I guess one other thing in regards to this, another popular trader, Rookie, kind of had a quote that I thought was relevant, that he thinks that a good time to bid is when the Germans have about 20 to 25% of their initial stack of Bitcoin left to sell. Right now, we're about at 50%. So 20 to 25% of their stack left would be around like $600 million, $700 million worth. If that's kind of like a level that you're looking at. So yeah, I'll stop there on the macro stuff. Give anyone else a chance to chime in, but that's kind of what I'm looking at.
Hell yeah, appreciate the breakdown, man, and all the links and stuff. A lot of information to go off of. One question I have for you, and it's fine if you don't have an answer. Just kind of randomly popped in my head. I remembered. Excuse me. Around the halving, there was a lot of like posts and just like historical comparisons to previous halvings and stuff. Have you heard any new halving narrative? Because I know we're a ways out now from the halving. So, are any like timelines or anything in play, or has this just been a very unusual and uneventful halving? Do you think?
Yeah, I haven't really been tracking any halving stuff. I haven't really seen anything like actionable from that standpoint. So that's not something I'm really looking at as a data point right now.
Totally fine. Yeah, I think that's kind of, for me anyway, it's kind of telling in itself, just because it was a pretty strong narrative. As we approached it, obviously it's going to be, but just seems unusual. You know what I mean? Seems a little different from previous ones. Maybe it's macro, or the bigger economy playing into it. Those stocks are doing well, so I don't really know what's going on. But Interesting, though. I was just curious if anybody was still, had rewritten history or try to pivot the narrative or not. But it seems like one that we can all just kind of move on from, forget about. Anyone with any other macro questions? Now would be the time if you want to pick Jake's brain a little bit, or you want to elaborate on any of the other things that he spoke on here. That would be great.
Hey guys, it's Oxford Fibonacci. I won't do. You obviously can read the full July market analysis that I wrote, but I did just want to highlight a few things that I thought were maybe relevant and kind of unique to this post. The first one is this. It's called the CBBI indicator, and this is kind of around the context of Ben Cohen talking about like DCA strategy around, assuming we're still in a bull market, this is a pretty normal pullback. I think from the all-time high to the low, we're like 28% so far, which is honestly like pretty average for bull market pullbacks. And so he generally proposes like a DCA strategy. And I found this CBBI indicator. I'll drop it in the chat. That can be one good resource to just like kind of broadly identify periods of kind of fear when it's good to maybe start DCAing in. And this indicator, it's pretty simple color coding. So this would be, if you open it up, kind of the green and blue kind of levels on this indicator. And then similarly, you can look to kind of DCA out when things start getting a little toppy, and the friends that come out of the works talking about Bitcoin and headlines and stuff. And you can see this is usually like when it gets kind of orange or red. So it's kind of a cool indicator you can kind of just keep an eye on to see, where we are kind of in the market cycle. And then secondly, I guess, maybe more towards your timing comment, Top Hat, Ben Cohen did notice potential kind of similar price action that we're seeing now that he saw in the summer of 2019. And I'll try and share these couple charts for reference. Obviously, no guarantees it will play out similarly, but he basically, I'll kind of show these so you guys can see. So this is now, and then this is 2019. He basically saw that we've tagged this kind of downtrend bottom line 3 times now, which could be relevant. And if it plays out similarly, he was saying we could kind of have a like descending kind of consolidation for a period of months, potentially through October, maybe, when it might break up out of this consolidation. So that's, at least one data point for potential timing. But, obviously, I think the biggest thing we're just seeing is all the fear between the Germany government selling and Mt. Gox. So it could be a quicker recovery once that stuff stops.
Beautiful. Thank you for sharing, brother. Yeah, these are awesome. And shout out to Field Report too. If you guys haven't seen that, there are 2 different field reports from OXFib, bangers. So definitely check them out.
Yes, sir. Much appreciated, Fib. Always love your analysis.
The reigning MVP coming in here to shine down on us. Love to see it.
I did a quick I guess update on where we are on the ETH ETF front. Eric Balchunas works for Bloomberg. He's kind of like the leading person that people have getting info from regarding the crypto ETFs. He's a good follow on Twitter if you kind of want to follow along for updates on how things are going there. He said last week, no one really knows why the SEC is taking their time with these, given how light the comments were. These could have easily been trading by now. Could be a problem issuer slowing them down, or just summertime lazy, people are on vacation. That said, all indications are that the launch is still on by the end of this month. So I've seen a lot of speculation that they're anticipating it to launch maybe later this week, or more likely, sometime early next week for the ETH ETFs. He had another one today. We saw VanEck file their S1s, which are kind of like a requirement before that's needed from these different companies issuing the ETFs that the SEC asked for before they could start trading. He's expecting the rest of them to come in today. and there's a chance, if they get these in soon enough, SEC gets back to them, they could be trading later this week. So it seems pretty imminent for the ETF stuff. So we'll see. ETH showing a bit stronger price action versus Bitcoin today, despite the dump. Since the dump all happened on the Bitcoin side of things. So yeah, something to track. Still not great across the board with everything bleeding, but just an update there. Hopefully, it gets a little bit more bullish here going into this ETF launch.
Yeah, that's a good shot too. I had it on my calendar. Trading was supposed to start like last week, right? I didn't realize that they were time rugging, but classic, right?
Yeah, it seems like SEC is like asking for like super minor things and updates, and then it's like people are gone for July 4th, and like trading was suspended and stuff. So it does make more sense that it would launch this week. We'll see if that happens.
Feels like them being petty, but who knows?
Yeah. But yeah, we can move on to some other stuff. I don't have like a ton of super actionable stuff today. Unfortunately, the last couple weeks, I feel like, I feel like there's some good opportunities out there. Unfortunately, with market bleeding and stuff, it's just like there's not a ton like super standing out. But I think there's, I guess, a couple things to update on and talk through, and maybe we're able to find something here. I did want to give an update. I talked last week about the Democrat presidential nominee meme coins, like the alternates if Biden were to step down. I thought there was some good opportunity there for some super high risk, high reward plays. If Biden were to actually step down, update since then, it was looking really good. A day or two after, there's a ton of reports about Democrats, being upset, and his betting odds to drop out skyrocketed. And at one point, for a day or two, Kamala Harris was actually the betting favorite to be the nominee. Since then, it's kind of subsided a bit. Biden's been doing a media tour, talking about how he is committed to staying in the race. And since then, his odds to drop out have fallen quite a bit. So yeah, they're still actually better than what they were when I talked about it last week. But I somehow feel worse about this play, despite the betting odds being better, just from things that have happened, from how strongly he's committed to staying in. His odds to drop out right now are at around 45%. So it's still close to 50-50, which is, it seems different from what the public display of him, saying that he's going to stay in the race. Again, I'm looking at this purely from like, how can we hopefully, get some kind of edge or make money from this, not from any type of like political opinion or political personal views here. So yeah, I did reference a couple coins. Like I said, my favorite in that article was the Kamala Harris's Soul coin. That one pumped a ton to, I think it's high with like 24 million market cap. It's back down to like 8 million, or sorry, like 6 million right now. With Biden's odds dropping back down, Biden odds to drop out, dropping back down. Wish I would have sold the top there, but didn't. Still holding a bit, hoping. I think this week is kind of a big week if you are tracking along with me here on this whole play. The lawmakers are returning from, I think, like a 2-week recess from Independence Day, and it's the first time they're going to be back in DC since the debate. So it will be interesting if there's some more rallies from the Democrats to have Biden step down. We'll see. There's been so far 5 different Democrats in the Senate or in Congress that have called for him to publicly step down. And also the NATO there's like a big NATO meeting that's being hosted in Washington D.C. starting tomorrow, where Biden's going to speak at, and that's going to be big for the whole campaign chances. So that's kind of a rundown of that play there. There's still, I'm still not like giving up hope, but I'm certainly not as convicted as I was last week in this play. And it again was high risk from the beginning. It still is very high risk at the moment, in terms of if you wanted to play this from a meme coin perspective, which is, it's funny to even talk about that. Like, this is like a play opportunity, just like betting on meme coins if possible, new presidents. But here we are in crypto land.
It sounds like the American dream to me, man. I don't know what you're talking about.
Truly, I love it. I love the ability to speculate on anything in crypto. It's actually so much fun.
Hell yeah.
But yeah, so that's where we're at there. I wanted to give an update because that was a big thing that we talked about last week.
There was something else we talked about last week I wanted to get your thoughts on, or at least just see if there's an update. If not, it's totally fine. Blast Season 2. Has there been, I haven't been tracking super closely. Has there been any like big developments or sentiment changes, or are people still just seeming really tired?
Yeah, well, the price has just been nuked. It's been pretty much down only since launch. I mean, the first day it pumped a good amount, up to like 0.028, and it's just been bleeding down only. I mean, along with the rest of the market, but it has not shown really much strength at all on these bounces when the rest of the market bounces a bit too. So that's tough. There's still, I feel like, a lot of supply overhang for farmers. We're at about 0.014 right now, 0.44. I think so. Blast did come out with. I actually don't have it in front of me. Do you have it in front of me in terms of like the reward, or in front of you? Sorry, in terms of like the season rewards.
Yeah. So Season 2 is going to have 10 million Blast allocated. It's going to be 12 months. It ends in June 2025.
Okay. So yeah, that's like 1.10 million Blast is $1.4 million.
Yikes. For a year.
Not much at all.
Yeah. Ouch. They need number to go up. Oh, 10 billion Blast. Okay, I've been correct.
Yeah, I was going to say, that's like nothing. Okay. That's a lot more.
What I say, million?
Yeah.
Yeah, the beep. Sorry, billion. Yeah, that makes way more sense. All right. Close call there.
Thank you so much.
Hope nobody was just, unstaking everything they have on Blast during that little segment.
Yeah, honestly, I've haven't, since the airdrop, I've not been following Blast stuff nearly as much because it's just like it's lost its luster quite a bit. There hasn't been. I'm actually very surprised at like the lack of utility for Blast itself. Like the Ponzi didn't continue to Ponzi like all of Pac-Man's Ponzi's have done since the beginning of Blur. It's kind of like the first time where he put the brakes on, and now the price is reflecting that. As like the expectation was that he wasn't really. I mean, they're still doing the Blast gold farming, right? But it's way longer. It's like a whole year before you're going to see any of it. Till you're going to reap any rewards, and it's like the price has obviously tanked quite a bit too, so it's not as lucrative. I'm sure there's still opportunity there, but it's a long farm, right? It's personally not one that I would be super excited about. I'd only really farm, at least my take is I'd only really farm the Blast things that I was the projects that I was individually bullish on. Like I still like Cambria. I haven't tried their new game. I've heard it's pretty fun. There's like a Gold Rush game, which is like leveling up your skills, similar to like how RuneScape, there's a bunch of skills that you can level up. I've heard that was decently fun. I'd probably try that out, and like maybe you can farm some Blast through that, but it would be more so like because I was bullish on that specific app or project than if it was I was bullish on Blast and like just purely farming to farm Blast. I don't love EV and the long expected time to reap any type of reward.
Yeah, totally fair. As far as farming goes, I will say just from my perspective, I don't really have much this week either. Just quick note on some games. That's kind of just my through line, man. It's perpetually there for us. Like GameFi might not be a big part of the conversation right now, but it comes and goes, and it sort of is just always kind of lingering around. So that's how I prefer to spend the extra time that I have in Web3 is just find games and if they're enjoyable, farm them in the hopes that that they'll pay off in the long run. There was one game that just launched this morning, about an hour and a half ago, that I've been watching pretty closely. I've shielded a little bit in Voice Hangout chat. It was a free mint, and I was shilling around 0.02. They just went up to 0.0, just over 0.05 today as the playtest opened, which is bullish usually when games are playable. Price dumps, but I'll post a link here. It's called Calamity. It's it's like a mobile pixel sort of dungeon crawler with co-op, so you can squad up with the homies and go and like beat bosses and stuff. I haven't actually got a chance to play it yet because it just launched about an hour and a half ago. But from their announcement, these are the features that they say they want players to test, and you have to have the NFT to play right now in the test. They're talking about their auction house, their player-to-player trading, their blacksmith mechanics, combat and PvE mechanics. They want to know about the classes and builds and the PvP interactions. So just based off that, it seems like there's a lot of fucking content in there. I'm pretty excited to jump in and play around with it. But I mean, that's more features than Web3 games have 2 years into them being out. You know what I mean? So that seems exciting to me. And then one more that I've been playing and you can play for free is called Hunters on Chain. I shared a screenshot 2 weeks ago, because there was a character where I could throw top hats, and I just thought that was incredible. But it's not bad. I've been just hopping on each day. They give you a free NFT trial, like a demo NFT, and if you play every day for 2 weeks, then they just give it to you and you get to keep it. And those earn tokens after each match, like the native token to the game. But it's super simple. It's just WASD. There's not even an attack button. It's all auto attack. But it's just a sort of little battle arena where you PvP against everybody. There's also some PvE modes where you like work together to like beat bosses and race each other to burn it down. But not bad. Not bad as far as as far as Web3 games go. But yeah, those were two that I just wanted to share. Calamity just dropped. Again, it was a free mint. That's up to 0.05 on base, and then Hunters on Chain, which is I guess Boomland is like their parent company, but they have an airdrop campaign going on as well. If you wanted to hop in there and get one of the free characters and just try it out. Sick.
Always love the new gaming opportunities.
Yeah, I got to say they don't hold a candle to the Elden Ring DLC, but we got to work with what we got.
That looks pretty cool. Yeah.
Which one? Calamity?
Yeah, Calamity.
Yeah, I think so too. It reminds me a lot of Cambria or RuneScape. It's like that old school sort of vibe.
Yeah.
But them focusing on like combat mechanics and like co-op and like running dungeons, I think that's where it's at for me personally. But I mean, I get the allure of betting and stuff, but it just seems like a much more fun core game,
Yeah, the new Cambria isn't like betting. They have a playtest that's like skill grinding kind of thing. And it is like more like fighting PvE type style. That I've heard is pretty fun. It's like more close to what they're sorry, I just saw a new headline about spot ETH ETFs are coming with SEC. Oh, this is 35 minutes ago. I thought this was 35 seconds ago. It says SEC ruling maybe as soon as this week or next. So I guess that's not really new news.
Man, that's like meteorologists. They're like, oh, it's like a 50% chance it'll rain. It's like, that did not fucking help me at all.
But yeah, the Cambria stuff, I'm looking into it. It actually looks pretty cool in my opinion, especially if you played RuneScape. It's like farming. I think they did like a 3-day play test for it. It might be closed now, but they've been like intermittently opening up the tests for this new, and it's like more like their full, like closer to their full game loop that they are expecting to, or like that they're striving for, I should say. It's much more than just like the dueling PvE stuff.
Gotcha. Okay, yeah. See, dungeon playtest. Okay, I got a video up right now. I'm gonna check this out. Yeah, it's just always worrying when a game adds its like game loop later. You know what I mean? It's like it's just a big. You don't know if it's gonna be good or not, right? Like there's no way to know if Okay, this looks a lot more dynamic, sort of open world, not turn based. Yeah, that's pretty cool.
Yeah, for sure. But yeah, anything else on I guess on Blast stuff? Any takes out there from the audience, or any other farms that you're still bullish on regarding Blast, or are you equally a bit pessimistic, kind of how I am?
Is that for me or for everyone?
For anyone.
Beautiful. Yeah, I'd love to hear some beautiful voices this morning. If anybody wants to vent about Blast or shill, if you still have hope. So if it says Blast Gold distro goes out today for the month of July. Ruh-roh.
Did you call me last night?
Will be interesting if that sparks anything.
I understand. Did you pick the bags before you got one?
Seeing how it gets allocated, if anyone gets anything decent from it. Have they showed allocations for that new distro? I haven't seen that. Cool. Well, nothing else on Blast, I guess.
Sorry, I didn't mean to completely wheel us away from Blast with the gaming stuff, but yeah, I've got nothing else on Blast. I was just curious if there was any sentiment changes or anything.
On a relevant note, from a both gaming and farm perspective, Pirate is actually holding up pretty great. A pretty big conviction call for me, or conviction play for me. It still is. I haven't sold like any of my Pirate since the initial allocation, and I don't anticipate to anytime soon, at least at this current price. It's actually up 8% on the week, despite Bitcoin nuking and despite Bitcoin being down 11% and a bunch of alts being down 20 to 30%. Pirate Nation's coin's holding up very well. It's at 26 cents right now, showing a ton of strength. I'm excited for when the market actually starts bouncing a bit, what it'll look like. I think we're at close to around 80% staked, if I'm not mistaken, right now in terms of supply. So pretty low circulating supply out there as well for the Pirate Nation token. And the chart looks good. So I just want to at least give an update on I remain very bullish on this token. I think it's extremely underpriced. And the farm goes on as well. It seems like the chain itself, they actually had like pretty long wait times just from so many new accounts and so much activity on the chain. They were doing like 3 million daily transactions, something around there. I think they paused new signups. I believe. I haven't dug in too much to the latest news over the past week after touching some grass, but I believe they paused new signups just to kind of give the chain a breather. And their main focus right now is infrastructure. They're going to open up actually a new chain and kind of have it work in a multi-chain system, which has always been the goal that they've outlined, and the plan that they've outlined is that they've kind of built this multi-chain technology to be able to scale. So it'll be really interesting how they're able to implement that and have the game, kind of simultaneously run on multiple chains at one time, but also not feel fragmented for the user base. Sort of continuing to push forward in terms of a fun game style, as well as new technological advancements on the on-chain gaming space. So again, big bet of mine. I know there's a lot of big pirate bulls in MVHQ. Scott's been recruiting some of the biggest ones out there. So that's been great to see. To have so many big minds here in MVHQ. If you aren't in Pirate Nation yet, there's a lot of people that can help you out and kind of game plan along with you. But that's my Pirate Nation bull update. The show goes on.
Love it, man. Yeah, great shout. It's been encouraging to see, or just exciting to see the thread, the focus discussion. I mean, there's like, you guys are making content in there. There's like videos, guides, graphics, infographics. It's just like, you guys are going in, man. I love to see it. I just saw that they announced 2 hours ago, hard gauntlet runs can get you a mausoleum key. Looks like a new mausoleum island. It says explore and find. That looks cool. Another reason to run those hard gauntlets. I had a moment of weakness, man. I did take some profits on my pirate bag. Still got a lot, but had to cash out on that 13-cent buy once it hit a nice 2x. Had to take some profits out. Times are hard, man. But I lost that 550% multiplier. Went down to it was like 280 or 230, something like that. Not too worried about it, but because it wasn't a huge position or anything, but it does feel good to at least book some profits in the current market. But still holding quite the bag. And I would argue we're still even in the DCA zone, as I called it, the day that you announced it. I think anything under 30 looks pretty good, but I'm also a hypocrite because I just sold some.
I'm not going to sell shame here. No sell shaming here. I've sold plenty back. I get in and out of positions on a daily basis. So, yeah, man, booking a 2x in this market, that's wonderful. So
they make it hard, though. They make it hard to click that button because it's like, are you sure you're an idiot and want to lose your crazy multiplier? I'm just like crying, like, yes, I am. That's all right, though. We got the pop points, man. It's fun to watch those just tick up constantly.
Yeah, sorry, kind of a lighter show. I don't have a ton else. I do have something that's a bit niche. I try to at least find like one opportunity that I think is like decent in the market right now. Every week for you guys. I want to try and deliver some value. It's hard, right? It's like thin pickings right now. With how shitty the market's been, and being the summertime, low volatility, all that stuff, you guys know. But I want to mention something that's pretty niche. It's not gonna be for everyone, but maybe it'd help someone out there. I think NFL Rainmakers. I think playing the marketplace, there is some opportunity there. On kind of a grindy style. I'll go through it a bit here. I think just in general, again, it's unfortunate. It's a bit niche because it's a restricted product from a couple ways. Like it's only US and EU and Canada, and I think maybe UK. I'm not positive on that. I know some is UK, some's not. Whatever. It's also it's specific to like the NFL product, so you kind of have to have some understanding of how of like the NFL itself, football, American football, to kind of get into it. But I think there's some opportunity on the marketplace here. There's quite a bit of spread between like the offers and listings on the marketplace. Even on things that are like decent amount of volume and liquidity. So that right now the season hasn't started. It starts, I think the beginning of September is when it like officially gets underway. But there are some cards out there that are live like for this upcoming season, as well as past season cards can be used in this upcoming season as well to win, like a lot smaller portion of prizes, but also you can like win new season cards. So there's still value in both of these things. And on a lot of these cards, like I said, like the bid ask spread or the offer and like listing spread is like quite a bit large. So I think there's opportunity here to like, if you wanted to play it from a market perspective and just purely try and flip via like lowballing, be able to getting like offers filled on like lowballing offers on different moments, and then grinding that on a daily basis, putting out offers, getting them filled, and then listing for 20 to 30% more, 20 to 40% more or whatever than what your offer got filled on, then hoping that sells. I think you can kind of grind out small edge there. Again, it's not anything crazy, but I know there are some members doing this, like Oye Pajaron. I believe he said he made like 2,000 or 3,000 last month doing this. I don't know exactly how much capital he used, but he's just grinded it daily. It's interesting. Like these are like, if you look at Blur, like the bid ask spread or like how much different the floor is to offers, it's only like 2 to 5%. And that's with like all the Blur incentives getting nuked quite a bit. There still is like pretty tight spreads on the market. But on Rainmakers, it's like 25 to like 50% spreads here between the offers. So I mean, you can kind of put out a good amount out there, get filled, and then hopefully flip. And I think what makes this even better of a play, kind of going into the season, is that in my opinion, like the prices are going to trend up a bit across the board for a lot of these players. That they seem a bit too low, just comparing what they were last year, and just in general, just seeing like last year and the year before, like prices were usually like their highest like right before the season, as a bunch of people are like loading up, kind of building out their squads for the season, and as attention comes back to the NFL product, as we get closer and closer to the season starting, in my opinion, I think prices trend up across the board. So I think that is like a good environment. A slow trend up is a good environment for, kind of playing this flipping game. So just wanted to call that out. It's not anything crazy. It is going to be a grind, and it is a bit niche, but maybe it helps, one or two people, and they're able to make a little money from it. But yeah, that's what I got.
Love, man. We'll take whatever we can get in this market. Appreciate it. I don't have much
And
either.
also,
Sorry. Go ahead.
No, I was just gonna say one other note on that is that we do have like some of the best Rainmakers, like experts, in MVHQ too. So you kind of have a unique advantage of being able to, bounce ideas off of people in here who've been playing it and analyzing it to, I would say, like the highest level here within MVHQ. So there's kind of informational and expertise advantage that you have here if you want to go down that route.
Yes, that's an excellent shout, man. Yeah, I'll never forget from our Make It Rain days. You, Theric, Poop, JJ, you guys are just beasts. Relic, I mean, you guys will share the info of what your lineups are going to be, and then go and take down these crazy big pots with that exact advice you just gave. So, yeah, excellent shout as far as the experts in MVHQ. That is definitely a strong suit of ours. Maybe one of the strongest, honestly. You guys are cracked.
Thank you. But yeah, there's a lot of great ones in here. Even people who aren't on the shows that have been digging into the content. Like you said, Brawlers, JJ, yeah, all those guys. But yeah, man, I think that's kind of what all I had on my docket for topics. Anything else you guys want to talk about? Anyone in the community have anything you wanted to bring up?
If you guys are looking for something to do today, there are 3 MVHQ missions that are ending in the next couple days. So you go knock those out. Take a couple minutes. Just a little friendly reminder there. Also a new month, so get those blesses in.
Yes, sir. Quiet crowd today. That's all right. We're gonna continue to grind. We'll find something this week. Right. Something will pop up. Always does.
That's the truth. I got a cat this weekend, man.
You got a cat?
I did.
How is it?
She's sweet, man. It's a nice, it's not like a kitten, but like a tiny little cat. My wife and daughter went to a cat cafe. It's like a little restaurant, or not a restaurant, just a little place where they let the cats crawl all over you and stuff. And yeah, turns out when you send your 6-year-old daughter to a cat cafe, you're most likely getting a cat. But she's been really sweet, man. It's been awesome. But yeah, I've been touching grass, just playing with a kitten. I'll post a picture here in Voice Hangout Chat in a minute. So I'm content, man. If we don't have a lot going on this week, that's fine with me. I'll just hang out with Biscuit. Oh, Chelsea suggested the name Billy. $1 billion cat. Is that what Billy is, or is that something else?
Billy's the dog. Yeah.
That's the dog.
Oh, Mitch, I don't know how you got server muted.
Oh, I muted Mitch. Yeah, he came in here and I was like, Mitch, what's up? And then it was like a TV or something was playing. So I banned him.
Damn.
Sorry, Mitch.
Right. We asked any word on the Solana ETF. I haven't seen anything new in this past week. I think last week we talked about how VanEck filed for it, as well as like one other filer. I haven't seen any other ones come in. It's not going to be, I'd say it looks very likely that it wouldn't be until next year if it does get approved and go live. It probably wouldn't get approved by the current administration, is what I've seen from analysts. It would have to be like if Trump won the presidency, or if the Dems like radically shifted their views on crypto. So I wouldn't really anticipate anything from that side of the front anytime soon, since it's also been like smaller issuers. If someone like BlackRock were to file for a Solana ETF, that would be pretty big news. And then that timeline would probably get moved up a good amount. But for now, I'm not expecting a ton of movement on that front right now.
All right, good to know, bro. Thank you. I had my dad basically just asking me about crypto this weekend. He's thinking about moving some of the family fund into crypto, not the ETFs, but he wants to be actually holding the crypto. So I thought that was interesting. So he asked me the differences between Solana, Bitcoin, and Ethereum. And we were looking into the Solana ETF approval stuff. And yeah, really exciting. My dad's a pretty, I would say, like long-term retail buyer and trader. So him really getting into crypto, I don't know if it's this combination of both me and the market, my influence over the years, but nonetheless, I think the ETH ETFs probably might be a really good boost once Germany's done with the breaking.
I'm hoping so, man. Is your dad still posting some market updates on Twitter?
He no, not anymore. He said it was too much work, but he gave us an update. He's really bullish on energy right now. And he's pretty much he hates Trump so much, but he's now just like excited for our energy bags, which I believe our fund holds like a 22% stake in certain energy companies.
I love that. That makes sense, man. I feel like Trump's super pro like a lot of these energy companies. So if he wins, I could see that taking off. I love that.
Yeah, he basically bugged us about it over dinner for like 30 minutes. And I tuned in as much as I could. But I'm happy to post his... he does like a quarterly newsletter for the family. I'm happy to post that as a field report if that's of insight to anyone here.
That'd be sick, dude. I think that'd be helpful.
All right, cool. Let me do that now, actually.
Thank you, sir. Yeah, THC, anything else or anything else from any other members you guys want to talk through?
I'm all good. I did drop Biscuit in the chat if anybody wants to see. But other than that, yeah, I'm good.
Biscuit, I love that name.
Thank you. I appreciate it. But yeah, if nobody else has anything for the week, I think that's perfectly fine. We could cut things here and of course hang out, chill a little bit. But yeah, does that sound all right, Jake?
Yeah, sounds great. I guess another update from the beginning of the show, kind of levels we're looking at for Bitcoin closing today. Green, as well as, the week, which weekly closes Sunday, above 60K would be pretty bullish. Everything else right now, besides that, is kind of, again, murky territory, not super actionable. Yeah, summer of touching grass, it seems, at the moment.
There it is. We got our levels to watch. We got our mind state fixed a little bit. So just gotta bunker down and weather the storm. But appreciate everybody rolling through for another episode of Wake and Jake. You guys know where to find us next week, 12 Eastern. We'll be doing it again. But yeah, thanks everybody.